to Honesdale, Pennsylvania. It's so pretty there. So because this is in the winter, one of the activities we've got going on is a snowshoeing hike, and then at the end there's a bonfire with hot chocolate. They make chocolate right there on the premises. That hot chocolate is like out of this world hot chocolate. So the retreat is Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and then through lunchtime on Sunday. There will be, I should be clear about these few things. So I'll be teaching yoga, but I'll be co-leading the retreat with Roberta Strickler. If you don't know Roberta, she's who I always say I want to be when I grow up. She's a yoga teacher in her 80s. You've been in class with her, and she'll be like in a handstand too. I just think that she's the coolest human being. But at any rate, come on up, Michelle. There will be options for a more restorative type of yoga or our typical vinyasa. And then we'll do some really cool stuff with the people from the Himalayan Institute. They'll teach us pranayama classes, meditation classes, along with some of this other fun things. So it's just a nice little getaway. One of our teachers in New York asked, if I can't get off work Thursday night, can I still come Friday? Definitely. And then you book your lodging with them directly, because in this era, some people don't want to share a room, some don't mind that, so you get to just choose all of that yourself. It's outside of the rate for us in the program. All right, you can ask me more about that later if you have more questions. Let's get started, and here's what I'm thinking that we'll do to get started today. Come to the front of your mats and come into your forward fold. So all the way in your forward fold, let your body just hang down. And at first, the ragdoll version of forward fold, so the pit of your belly lifting, then your upper body just dangling, and start to breathe here. Now, I automatically just close my eyes. Let me invite you to open your eyes and start your breathing. So a slow, steady, deep, rhythmic breath from your heels up your back to the crown of your head, even to your eyebrows. Let there be, invite in a quality of warming up and waking up. And then while you're doing that, start setting your breathing. You might even here want to start with a deep breath in and an exhale through your mouth. You could do that a few times if you'd like. Maybe as you're getting set here in your feet now, you're starting to notice you might like them a little wider or a little bit more narrow. So keep your breath flowing, look at your feet, and start to choose the placement of your feet. And then while that's going on, again, I'll invite you to breathe so that we have a sense of hearing the people at home who are practicing with us, and they can hear you breathing. The people beside you can hear your breathing. And then with your attention on your feet, wherever you chose to set them, and you could always change again, lift your 10 toes off of the mat and spread them and hold them in the air. And while you're hanging here, just keep on breathing. Start to explore where the four corners of your feet are and choose how you hold your weight across the four corners of your feet. And really start to breathe. You know where your feet are, that's where you are, and we're going to work with your feet today. Really start breathing. This pose, when translated from Sanskrit, has the word intense in it. And that should start to be becoming your experience as you fold here and breathe. Walk your fingertips over to the right and just anchor your left fingertips down. You can straighten your left knee. Keep your breath flowing through your left side. You should start to really notice it. And then the weight even through your feet. Toes in the air so your feet come alive. Take a deep breath in here in this side stretch. Inhale. A side to exhale. Stay here for just one more breath. And walk your hands the other way. Take your hands across over to the left. Press your right foot down and keep your right knee straightening to bring more stretch into the back right side of your body. And then breathe here. You might now start to take your feet, your stance, your foundation more wide. Let your head hang. And then here, take a deep breath in and exhale. One more breath on this side, stretch. And then come back to the center. Press your feet so much you feel your arches from the floor lift back up into your body. Inhale. Blow all the air out, and while you do that, start to roll up to standing. Take 3 breaths to slowly roll your body up to standing. On the third one, sweep your arms overhead, stretch up to the ceiling. Stay right here as you exhale. Then with your right hand, capture your left wrist, reach it to the ceiling and stretch it up and over. Don't worry about going for distance like a really deep fold. Instead, go for pressing your left foot and all the way up your left body to your left fingertips, a stretch. One more breath in, a little more on the exhale. Come back to center and switch. Left hand to capture your right wrist. Pull it up to the ceiling while you press your right foot into the floor. Then inhale, stretch, and reach up and over. So breathe into all this space on the right side of your body, every one of your ribs. Another breath, stretch up and over. Come to the center. And then interlace your fingers, press them to the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring your hands into prayer position at the center of your chest. Inhale. Exhale through your mouth. 3 Ohms, breathe in. Inhale, reach up. Fold to the floor as you exhale, all the way down. Now press your feet. Inhale, lift up halfway. Pause right here and breathe. Put your hands on your hips. Press your feet into the mat. Maybe your knees are softened. Keep on breathing. Now roll your shoulders back and press your elbows to the ceiling. Soften your knees enough that from hips to crown, your whole body's long. Soften your knees, Bob. Flat back, so roll your chest up. There's your long flat back. This is the setup. Inhale. Exhale, keep the long back. High plank to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Breathe in and out. 2 more. Inhale and exhale. On the last breath now, breathe in. Bend your knees, look forward. Jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift. Get the flat back. So soft knees, forward fold. Press your feet into the floor. Use your flat back. Stand up. So the long flat back, reach up, look up. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Inhale, lift up halfway. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, breathe in. Downward facing dog, breathe out. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath in. Full breath out. Bend your knees. Look forward and jump. Halfway lift. Lift your flat back. Forward fold. Now use your feet. Press them into the ground. Flat back to stand up. Reach up. Look up. Fold to the floor. Exhale. Inhale. Halfway lift. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. While you look at your feet here in the downward dogs, line them up again parallel to one another. Maybe that means your heels are more wide. Take 1 more breath in, bend your knees, look forward, jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift, get the flat back, forward fold. Lift your 10 toes, use the flat back, stand all the way up. Reach up and go back. Fold to the floor as you exhale. Halfway lift, flat back, low plank. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Maybe you'll want your feet wider so you have more sense of the 4 corners. Last breath, bend your knees, look forward, jump to the front of your mat. Halfway lift with the flat back, forward fold. Strong feet, flat back, stand up, reach up, fold to the floor in your exhale. Halfway lift, low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. We're working with your feet so that we can create a new awareness of where your body is in space. Oh, Michelle, come forward to a different box. One more breath in, breath out, look forward, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Now chair pose, so reach your hips way back and your arms way up and breathe. Organize your feet, so wider heels, Megan. Lift your 10 toes in the air. Get really a sense of sitting back. Push your big toes down. That's it, Michelle. Inhale, reach up. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward and lunge. Press the back edge of your back foot into the mat and reach up. Look up. Hands to the floor. Low push-up. Upward facing dog, shoulders back, downward facing dog. Left foot forward and lunge. Anchor the back edge of your back foot as you reach, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. 2 more. Last one, squeeze your hands, bend your knees. Jump to the front, halfway lift, forward fold. Work with your 10 toes in the air, chair pose. Keep them in the air, fold. Flat back, halfway lift, now low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right foot forward, lunge. Even here, try 10 toes in the air, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale, left foot forward, 10 toes in the air. Judy and Adam reach up, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, inhale. Press your hips back as you exhale. 2 more. Last one, bend your knees, be aware of your toes, jump. Halfway lift, forward fold. Chair pose, you could still work with your 10 toes in the air, fold to the floor. Halfway lift, long flat back, watch your locked knees, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. You're like, I don't like this spot. Right foot forward and lunge, warrior 1. Lift, hands to the floor, chaturanga. That's it, Rob. Upward facing dog, lift your chest. Downward facing dog, left foot forward, lunge. Inhale, lift up and go back. Hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Always a great spot to take a sigh, let the air out. 1 more inhale, bend your knees, exhale, look forward and jump. Let's go for 1 more round. Halfway lift, fold. From the feet, chair pose. Fold to the floor. Halfway lift, get the flat back and soft knees, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, right foot forward, lunge. From your feet, reach to your fingers, hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, left foot forward, lunge. The deepest lunge, reach, hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Now take a deep breath in and let there be a sigh. Raise your right leg in the air. If you're close to a wall, careful you don't kick your heel. Bend your knee and flip the pose over. Land with your feet. Know where your feet are. You can reach over to the wheel, but while you hold this pose, nice, Megan. Really stand on the 4 corners of both feet, even if it takes the 10 toes in the air, and organize the pose from your feet. 1 more breath. Side plank, right hand down, left arm in the air, and stack your body up. You can step your feet one in front of the other if that gives you better access to stability in the pose. But wherever you are, toes alive, look up. Oh, Michelle, it was so good. Reach up. Now soft, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Left leg in the air, bend your knee and flip it over. Even here you can take a sigh if you find that your breath pattern is getting a little fast. I love all the reaching for the wheel pose. If you got access, you don't have to linger there. Just touch the floor, get the stretch. Then side plank. Left hand on the ground. Face the right side of your room. Stack your body up. When your hand is on the floor, it operates like your foot, like a foundation. So spread your fingers, spread your toes. Then let your body be easy for just one more breath. Look up. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. I love it, Rob. Keep working. Downward facing dog. Now take a breath and take your rest here. Even again, louder if it needs to be. If it needs to be a sigh, take up the space with your sounds. Then step your right foot forward to crescent lunge. Hands to prayer position. You can twist to the right side. Once you get your elbow anchored, steady your breath. Then work with your foundation where your feet are, and from your feet being active, open your arms. Even here with a foot partially in the air, you can be aware of the four corners of your feet. Take one more breath here, one more exhale, then come up to crescent lunge, open to warrior two to the left. Pick up your back heel, swing it back a little bit more so your toes point in and lunge down low and stand even in both of your legs. I've always got to do some organizing here, whether it's my shoulders back, but mostly it's in the lift of the pit of my belly. I find I have better access to that when I do have access to my feet. Once you've got your whole pose set up, take another breath and then tilt to the extended side angle. Reach for the floor and reach for the ceiling. Reach perhaps overhead to the wall in front of you, and then from your foot at the floor to your fingertips reaching, stretch this whole angle long. Press the edge of your foot, yes, until the bottom arm reaches. Foot down, arm reaching, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. I love watching you guys when you do pick two arms up on that now, different from the stress and strain it was before. Now you've got your foot pressing, and it makes sense to reach. Step your left foot forward, crescent lunge. Hands to prayer position and twist. Bring your right elbow to your left knee. Get your elbow anchored on your knee. So as you're breathing, bring some attention to your back foot. That's it, Peter. Now press, just gently. Open your arms, half bind or full bind. So imagine the palm of someone's hand at the inside of your back foot's ankle. Just gently pressing, so you press back against it and light up your whole back leg. There you go. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Come back up to crescent lunge. It's from your feet. You'll get the balance here. Then to warrior two. Open. Take a long stride. You got the great opportunity to see some eyes across the room from you. You can look at those eyes, and with your eyes you can look at their front knee, and you can just will that knee to bend a little bit more. Give him his knee the evil eye. Then tilt or extended side angle. Bring your breath. Work with your pose where you know you are, and then see if there's an opportunity for something else to press the back edge of your back foot down. So you get this almost tug of war going with the 2 arms reaching and the foot pressing. 3 breaths. Now start turning your torso to the ceiling from this bottom hand to the back foot stretch. Now open your front knee. This is the last breath. Hands to the floor, chaturanga. Good work. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Just take 1 breath in here. Take a sigh. Then inhale, bend your knees on the exhale, jump to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Work with your feet hip width distance and sit way back for chair pose. Way in your heels, and then anchor the 2 corners of your front foot. Hands to prayer, twist toward the right. Left elbow towards your right knee. Check out your own 2 knees, the weight in your 2 feet. Even the weight in your 2 feet. So it can be typical that you start to lighten the load a little bit. You'll notice your knees change and your hips change. So if you can really press down into your right foot right now, you may change the whole pose. You can open your arms, press down into the 4 points of the right foot. 2 more breaths. Last one, full rotation here. Now reach up for the chair. forward fold. It was so awesome. I was looking at this corner. I saw more rotation from Jen and from Peter all at once, like it was working together. Hook your big toes and stretch yourself down toward the floor. You can put the weight, shift it through your four corners. At home, Kaiwen, press your heels down. Shift your hips towards your toes and deepen your pose. Take a sigh, just clear your space a little bit. Chair pose the other way. So in your feet, hands to prayer, twist. You'll start to notice how there's weight in this heel and weight in these toes. Shift it. Get some weight in the right heel and the left toes. Just keep working with your feet. You can open your arms, half bind or full bind. In your right heel, your left big toe, left little toe. Now 3 more breaths. Open your chest, whichever variation you are. That's it. Roll your shoulder open. Kyle and Carly, 2 more. Now here's the last one for the full rotation on the exhale. Then up to the chair, forward fold. Feet under your hands from the front. So stand right on them. Right underneath of your feet, palms to feet, gorilla pose. Shake your head out. Let the weight of your head just hang down toward the ground. You might really be well served by just taking a sigh with some volume, with some lip flutter, just so that your whole body gets easy. Take a breath in. Okay, you've choices here. You can take crow pose in any variation, or you can be working your handstand. You've been in class with me in the last few weeks. We've been working a handstand like this. Anybody can try this, hands on the ground, each fingertip squeezing, like those are the toes. A block under your hip of the leg that's on the floor, so right in the front crease is a really good tool. And then you reach to the ground. You can just practice leaning into your hands. If this is tight on your hamstrings, blocks under each hand are enough to just practice this leaning and gripping of the floor. Or you can lean and bring your knee into your chest. Keep hugging the block that would be in the crease of your hip. Give it a try. There you go, Bob. Take on whatever you're taking on here. So work with the knee into your chest. That'll teach you the stability in the center of the room. Nice tilting and rocking there, Rob. That's exactly it. For everybody, 1 more breath. Then to chaturanga from whichever pose you're in. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Take just 1 breath in, 1 breath out. Look forward, jump up to your hands. Halfway lift, forward fold. Press your feet down, get the 4 corners, enough that it gives you the flat back, and stand up all the way, arms overhead. Right side eagle pose, right arm under, cross your elbows, squat down, right leg over. Okay, so I'm going to challenge you here to wake up your feet while you're holding this pose. So that could look like the standing 5 toes in the air. Get your body organized. When your feet are really powerful, you've got the 4 corners on the floor, unwrap your top leg, step it back to a crescent lunge shape, and lift up and go back. Bring this back bend from your back foot all the way up your body to your chin and to your elbows. It'll all come in that way from the back foot. Lift up, lunge, lift up out of your legs. You got it. 1 more breath, step back, and then step forward, hands beside your body. Other side, arms in the air, left arm under, left leg over. So I'm hoping you'll start to notice how you control all of your balance here in your feet to some degree. So 5 toes in the air. The 5 toes that are on the lifted leg, lift those, make those active, and sit down low in the pose. You'll see how it shifts through your foot. And then unwrap your top leg, step it back to a deep crescent lunge. Yes, I'm seeing a lot of work here. Then lift up and go back. You got it. Crescent lunge, lift up. Jen, lift your chest up. That's it. Let the back bend come into your upper chest, upper back. Step forward, hands by your side. Hug your right knee into your chest. You can keep holding your knee or hold your foot and extend your leg. Check out the foot you're standing on. I know this happens to me as I'm getting my lifted foot gathered. I do a little hopping around and all of a sudden my foot's turned out again. When I look down, Victoria's like, oh shoot. So straighten it up. Feet on 12 o'clock. So your feet will tell you where you're headed. So we put them in what we call true north alignment. That means that they're like hands on a clock facing 12 o'clock. You can open your leg to the right, look and reach to the left. And then one more time while you're here, chest up, foot down. 2 breaths. Last breath. Bring your leg forward, hug your knee into your chest. Wake up your feet. We've got a lot of balancing and moving now, airplane pose. This is one of the poses I've been fascinated for the most I've learned. I've learned the most from activating my feet. So pick your chest up. Yes. Yes. Keep your whole body active here. Like it's all fully vital and alive. Keep your feet, hands to prayer position. Keep your feet, just concentrate on your feet, open to the half moon. Keep concentrating on your feet. Leg in the air. Keep your leg in the air. Fold down, hands on the floor. You have 3 handstand hops, or you're working on just doing the leaning, lifting your heel. So there's 1, knee into your chest, 2, knee into your chest. Yes, Bob. That's it, Jen. Little higher hop. Last one for everyone. Forward fold and hang. You can sway from side to side. Take a breath. Then press your feet into the ground. Roll your shoulders back. Long, flat back. So you'll notice, maybe you have a chance here to notice, when you get your feet like this and you have the flat back, but you press yourself up to standing, there's a whole new kind of power in your legs. Hug your left knee into your chest. So you might not notice it at all today. Maybe today all it is something in the realm of possibility, but you believe in it, you think about it, you'll give yourself the opportunity to notice it. Get your feet, open your knee to the left, look and reach to the right. Your whole practice will change when you start getting your feet in it. Breathe here. You can roll your shoulders back and lift your chest, and then just be available to discover something. Bring your leg forward, hug your knee into your chest. Determine that this whole stage of 3 poses, you're going to work from your feet. So from your big toe on the floor, press. To your big toe on the wall behind you in this airplane pose, press. So much control in the pose. You're setting up the handstand right here. So powerful feet, chest up. You got it. Half moon, hands to prayer. Really control the leg that's in the air by knowing where your foot is. That's it, Michelle. Wake that foot up. Kyle toes wiggle, whole foot alive. One more breath here. Keep your leg in control, in the air, hands to the floor, left leg in the air, 3 handstand hops. This might be your good side, it might knee your chest. The only way you're going to really get this power on the floor and balance is to get your legs. You're going to need your feet. So keep your knee into your chest and work your feet. One more try. Knee into the chest, work your feet, work your feet, work your feet. Press. That's it, Bob. Nope. Knee into your chest, just press your foot. Yes, look at that. One more breath. Look at this handstand. Keep pressing your feet. Keep pressing your feet. Look at this. I could just leave you here forever. Forward fold and hang. That was awesome. Hang. Is that your longest handstand? That was amazing. All you need is your feet like that. That was amazing. I don't know why that microphone keeps cracking. Sway from side to side. Come rolling up to standing. Standing bow, 1 set. Right hand behind you. Hold your ankle from the inside. Left arm in the air. Your shoulder rolls back. This is a tricky grip. It can seem like it's working the right way. Let me switch your grip here. Spin. Feel the difference in your shoulder? I know, such a tricky one every time. Okay, here's something you may not have ever considered about how you can have direction from your feet. If you're not holding your actual foot, you're more in the area of your ankle. Right here in this back bend, you can be pressing your big toe in the air and your big toe to the floor and have access to the pose newly. Yes, that's it. Take yourself into the pose as deeply as you have access to right now. You got it, Rob. Just 1 spot and press out. 5 breaths here. You got this. 4, 3. Step out. Good work. Now put your feet on the floor and your hands on your hips and just let yourself rest. Left side. Set up the left side. Hold your ankle. Try to hold your ankle and not your foot. Yep. So you can flex your ankle and have your feet really be informational. Peter, switch your hand. You'll get it one day. You'll never have to check that again. And then sometimes I look around the classroom and see somebody who's been practicing for years or one of our teachers, and all of a sudden their grip is backwards again. Now press back while you reach forward and kick up while you press down. You might lift your 5 toes in the air. One more breath. Step out of it. 2 feet on the floor. We'll take tree pose. Right foot to your left inner thigh, hands to prayer position. Interlace your hands and press your palms forward and look up. You got it. Shoulders back. Kaiwen, draw the pit of your belly into your body and up. That's it, Judy. Breathe there. Now for everyone, press down, reach up. One more breath. One more breath here. And step out. Switch sides. Right foot down, left foot up. Organize your standing foot so as it's turning out, you won't get access to the power of your inner thigh. And then you feel yourself wiggling. It's when you're losing the inner corner of your front foot. If you pick your 5 toes up, you'll have a little more access to locating it and pressing your big toe down. Interlace your fingers, press your palms forward and reach up. Chest up, look up. One more breath, lift up and step out. Front of your mat. Inhale and sweep your arms overhead. Fold to the floor with your long flat back as you exhale. Halfway lift, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Right foot forward for triangle pose. Take a long step. Turn your back foot in and then open your body up to the side. A little comfortable in this pose, take a longer stride. Michelle, you can take up like 8 more inches there. Yes. Now press your feet down. Lift your 5, 10, or your 10 toes in the air. Is your big toe still pressing, the knuckle of it? Then from here, from your feet, draw the pit of your belly in. See if you can correlate the pressing down of your feet to the lifting of the pit of your belly. Then for the last breath, let your head drop back, open your chest up. Come on up to standing. Side facing wide leg forward fold. Fold down. All the way down. Tippy toe your fingertips forward and get the stretch. Once you get your fingertips forward, you have the stretch. Just take a breath in. A breath out. Stretch a little further. Then walk your hands in. Come up to standing. Turn to face the front. Front foot pointing forward. Back foot at any angle at max to parallel to the back of the mat. Hands in prayer position behind your back. Lift up and forward fold. You go a little longer in the bottom of the pose with your feet longer, Bob. Yes, use your breath. If the pose doesn't require your breath, then get more interested in your feet and the alignment of the pose. Now, Victoria, bring weight into your front leg. Yes, so it doesn't mean you lift your back heel, it means soften your front knee enough that you can bring weight forward. Yes, feel it more in your front hamstrings. Twisting triangle, left fingertips to the floor. Right hand could be on your right hip, it could be reaching in the air. Breathe here. 2 more. Chest open, last one. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward, triangle pose. Use your breath to take you through each of these movements. Long, long stride. And fold. 10 toes in the air and get your feet all 4 corners. And from your feet, the pit of your belly. So press your feet down, draw the pit of your belly in and up. That's it. And just like you're doing, Erica and Kaiwen, hand behind you, I see that Adam. Drop your head back. Take 1 more breath in. With a sigh, let your whole pose open. Come on up to standing. Hands around behind your back, interlaced. Side facing wide leg forward fold with all 10 toes in the air. With your 10 toes in the air, you get this action quality of your pelvis opening in the back as you fold. Let your hands spill overhead. You may look at your feet and notice your toes are turning out. Keep them parallel for now to the sides of your mat, the short sides. Breathe here. Then press down with your feet. Lift the pit of your belly. Come up to standing. Turn to face the front of your mat. Hands in prayer behind your back. Standing, single leg forward, fold. You can roll your shoulders back and fold forward. So work with your feet here. They're the steering wheel that gets your hips to be set up parallel. They're what has you know to soften your front knee a little bit more. Just a little more softening, Jen. Just there. More weight in your front leg. And then see if you have a little more fold. That's it. Keep breathing, stretching the crease of your left hip back to the upper back room behind you. And then your chest down toward your big toe. Twisting triangle. Right hand down, left arm in the air. Breathe here. So Michelle, if you can bring this hip back, weight in the back leg, and go for the length. Now you can take that variation, but we're looking for this. You starting to feel that as you lengthen and twist. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Open, exhale. 1 more. Inhale. Open, exhale. Hands to the floor, downward facing dog. From here, high plank and lower down to your belly on the mat. Keep your toes turned under as they are in this chaturanga. Active legs. And then you can take your arms back and lift up into the locust pose. So toes turned under on the mat like they are in the chaturanga. Active legs. Here you can imagine that your feet are standing on the wall behind you. And then from your feet being so powerfully connected, you're able to really lift up. Yeah, just like that. 1 more breath. Roll your shoulders back and lift up. Then come on down and rest. Bend your knees. You can move your feet from side to side. Set up the floor bow. Hold your ankles right under your foot at the top of your shin. Roll your shoulders back. Press back and kick up. Press the ball of your big toe up in the air. You got it. Breathe here. Take a sigh, roll your shoulders back, press back and drive your feet up. 1 more breath. Go on down. You can wave your feet from side to side. We'll take this second set or the other side if you're doing one side at a time and set it up. Shoulders back. Hold your shins right below the fold of your ankle so you can work with flexed feet. And then press the arch side of your foot up. Could you imagine and concentrate on your arch pressing up? Keep pressing it up and let your knees just come softer. They may not actually move, but there's a softening of them maybe coming together. As though there was something you were hugging. So hug with your knees, lift with your arches. It's a little different, isn't it? 1 more breath, hug. Okay, come back down. Knees side to side. Gives you access to your inner thigh power. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. From here, jump through, roll onto your back. We'll take bridge pose. Once you're on your back, bend your knees, feet right under your knees. We'll take 2 bridges and 2 wheels. So set yourself up for the first bridge pose. 10 toes in the air, and imagine you're pulling your heels back towards your hips. Really get your feet. That'll have your inner thighs have a quality of rolling inward. You can bring your right knee into your chest if you're free to do that, and then press your big toe up to the ceiling. Look at it like it's stamping on the ceiling. Knee into your chest, foot on your floor, and come back down. Once you're down, knees side to side. Bridge pose number 2, set it up. Press down, rise up. So once you get the feet, why do we do this first? So you're not just totally rolled out and it'll just be more of a squeeze on your lower back at the feet. Then left knee directly into your chest. So release your hamstrings, then foot up to the ceiling. And look up and press up. So 1 foot down, 1 foot up. So press in those opposite directions and come back down. Onto your back, knees go side to side. Get ready for a wheel pose. So I like to come out of bridge pose myself. You might like going straight for the wheel on the floor. Set your hands wide and maybe even set your feet wide, both of them as wide as your mat. Press down and rise up. You can always pause on the top of your head to set your hands wider. Then your thumb, the meat of your thumb, the palm of your thumb, and your big toe, press them. Breathe 5 breaths. Let your shoulders relax, 4 breaths. Really stand in the knuckle of your big toe. 2 more. Last one, come back down. Knees side to side. Take an inhale and an exhale. Set up the second and the last wheel. Hands and feet on the floor. Press down. Rise up. That's it. Press your palm and your big toe. Yes, stand in your feet, Erica. Good, Kaiwen. Keep standing in your feet. Press your big toe, Judy. That's it, Adam. Stand in your legs. So the legs, the power of any back bend. You'll want your big toes pressing. Tuck your chin and come on down. Knees side to side, Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles together, knees open. And hug your knees into your chest, hug them back, and then take dead bug pose. You can rock from side to side. Legs straight up in the air, feet flex so you can see your toenails. Then with your fingertips, reach for your big toenails, and we'll take these pulses. Get ready. On the exhales, you'll move. So exhale, pulse up for 1. Pulse up for 2. You can make a percussive exhale, one that you're really blowing out. That'll engage your core so you can really reach. 1 more. Is that your 10? Come on down. Hug your knees into your chest. If you have a block, pick up your block and hug it between your ankles. So it'll look like this. Take your block all the way up between your ankles so it's in this longer stance, and you'll hug it between your ankles or even between the arches of your feet. And straight up in the air with your legs. Now this time you'll reach across your left foot. So right fingertips to the left baby toe. And here you go. Hug the block and lift up for 10, 9. Help you locate your core with the block. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax back. Other side. Legs back up in the air. Is this helping you better get your core? So hug the block. On the exhales, you'll move. Now your left finger is going over to your baby toe on your right side. Keep going up. Go up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax with one more thing to do. Keep the block. Legs straight up in the air. This time we'll be alternating. You'll go for 1 and then for 2. Reaching to your outside ankle. Here you go. Flex your feet and go for 1, 2, 3. Blow out 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your whole body out long. Hug your knees into your chest. Rock back and forth, all the way through to downward facing dog. Take right side pigeon pose. Right side pigeon. You can keep your back leg, the foot, your toes turned under, just like they are for chaturanga. So the toes turned under and the leg up off of the floor and active. We won't hold it as long, but we'll put a little more strength and power into it. This pose is really similar to the crescent lunge that we did earlier. So we learned a little bit about that, especially when we stepped back from the eagle pose, that the back foot has a lot of power in a back bend and in keeping you steady when you take movements. So here, turn your toes under, make your leg active, and see if that'll help you steer and square your hips. Then hands to the floor, step back to downward dog, and bring your left leg forward. You can keep your back toes, your right toes turned under, your back leg active. So you'll take a very active pigeon pose. Toes turned under and fold. Keep your back knee in the air, back leg active. So put your attention on your back foot, press it into the ground, bring some power to it, then hands on the floor from your back leg, step back into downward facing dog. Good, you can jump through and sit down. Stretch your right leg out long, bend your left leg, turn towards your right leg, and fold. Yep, toes in the air, turn towards your right leg, fold, left hand to hold your right baby toe. Right hand can go on the ground beside you to help you fold down. Kyle, pull your toe back. So a lot of times what happens is the outer ankle, that's it, just gets really tight and long, pressed long. It needs to soften and bend too, so your 5 toes point straight up. Switch sides. Long left leg, bend your right leg. So instead of having your foot kind of sickled in, straight up in the air, from heel on the floor, toes up to the ceiling. You would imagine that there's a wall in front of your foot, and this is where your 4 corners of your foot are activating. A strap around your foot can just make your arms just long enough to have the access. Then come on up, 2 legs in front of you, forward fold. Hinge down, still from heel on the floor to 5 toes on each foot in the air. You'll hold the baby toe side and keep easing the outer ankle back. So it's just as though you'd be standing on the floor, different from this motion. It's really uncomfortable in a standing, but this is how we hold our foot in a default in this pose with this rolling out. So bring them like there's a floor in front of them. Good, good, good. Come on up. Hug your block between your shins down near your ankles or between your feet if you've got it. Point your toes now toward the floor. Lean back on your hands. They'll face towards your heels and roll your shoulders back. So turn your fingers towards your toes, Peter. Yeah, it's the awkward way. Bob towards your toes. Switch your hands. Yes. Okay, now press down and lift up and move your feet to the floor. Maybe you'll work with them decidedly flexed, or you'll try to touch your whole flat foot to the floor. Yes. Press down and rise up. 5 breaths. 4 breaths. 3. Press down, rise up. Last one. Okay, sit down, fish pose. Just put your forearms on the ground, lift your chest and relax your head back. Just hips down, chest long, head relaxing back. So the default here is to let your rib cage kind of sink to the floor. From this pose, the hips get to be the feet. They get to be anchored. The whole side body gets to stretch, and then the chest opens. It's a back bend. Tuck your chin and relax your whole back flat on the floor. You have choices now. Once your flat back is on the floor, you can roll your feet over to plow pose. And from there, take the shoulder stand. Of course, waterfall is a choice. Or you can come up to standing and work on your handstand. So you could hug your knees into your chest, rock through, and come all the way up to your downward facing dog and get ready to set up your handstand. Pick your favorite leg and take that leg in the air. Get your feet active on both legs, and then take the hop and bring your knee into your chest. Once you get your knee into your chest, keep it in your chest, and that's where the control will come from. So Jen, your hips aren't getting on top of your shoulders yet. It's like breaks. So hollow, just like you did. Keep your body hollow and jump. Big jump. Right there on top of your shoulders. Feel it. Knee into your chest. Press it down. Yes, you got it. Press this foot up. Press the floor. Breathe. Long, steady exhales. Press. Whenever you're ready, you'll be able to come down, but you keep pressing your feet. Breathe and come on down. You feel that started to sag again. So in the handstand, your body's got to have some quality of hollow, but the default is this for most people. But that was really good. Couple more breaths. And then if it's the shoulder stand, take it to the plow pose. Adam, get away from that wall and use your block. I know you can do that handstand. for everyone. Make your way all the way onto your flat back. Hug your knees into your chest. Drop your legs to the left. Look and reach to the right. Our style of yoga is called Baptiste yoga, and it's a vinyasa type of breathing exercise yoga. And so we have 3 practices and techniques. This is obvious, the asana part, where you're moving around, doing the poses. And then there's a meditation piece, and the last piece, inquiry. And though they can happen as 3 distinct practices and techniques, they're also all happening all of the time. Switch sides. Did we do that already? Switch sides. So while you're learning about your feet, you also start to learn, wow, I have to actually be really right here and right now, and the sense of my feet on the floor to be present and able to be active in choice in my own world. And just learn that from your practice. It correlates from what you learn physically to how you can be in the whole of your life. And that's an inquiry. When we're talking about inquiry, we practice a lot more in like a 40 days program. But we're not talking about finding answers. Come back to the center, Supta Baddha Konasana. We're actually just, we're pointing to a question, a curiosity that's meant for just discovering. Never meant to land on the answer. It's just meant to discover, to uncover each time you ask the question. For example, where are my feet right now? And then you all have a cold eye towel in the studio, and hopefully at home you've set yourself up to have that luxury as well. For most of you, it's around your foot area. Bad planning on my behalf. Shavasana. You can grab your cold eye towel if you'd like it. Feet wide. See what it is to take your feet from attention to ease. Let your toes drop out. Arms where they're comfortable, palms face up. And then take a deep breath in and exhale. Right here in this Shavasana, let your whole body be awake, alive, sensing, but also at ease. So no need now to move around to get yourself here in your body in the moment. You've done that work. And you have access to some amount of presence right here. While you're lying here, stay. Keep your attention right here. Stay here, take another breath, and let yourself settle more deeply. If I ever have a really busy, bothered brain and I can't access stillness, whether it's in meditation or in everyday, it can be helpful for me to hear a sound. Like you can hear the traffic in the studio moving outside. You just listen to it. Not a sound that there's something to do anything about, but just to listen to it as an anchor. home, maybe there's a steady sound of air in the vents. Take another breath and another exhale and let yourself settle more deeply. Connect whatever quality of presence you've got right now, stillness, and hug your knees into your chest. Keep your eyes closed. Roll to your side. Connect to presence and stillness. With your eyes closed, bring yourself up into a sitting position. Make your body comfortable. You could scoot back if a wall is near you and lean your back against the wall, or sit on a block or a towel, but settle in so that you can sit up tall. You can rest your hands on your knees or bring them together and let your fingertips touch between your knees. Let your hips settle down into the ground. And as they settle, let the crown of your head reach up to the ceiling. And while you're here, take a deep breath in and sigh, exhale, and settle. Allow yourself to hear what you hear. In the studio, we've got a lot of music in a car outside. And let yourself feel what you feel. Maybe there's a sense of a breeze on your forearms. And while you're sitting here, take a breath in. Exhale and let yourself settle. Listen to the sounds around you. There's nothing to do right now. You're just sitting and being. And take a breath in, and as you exhale, let yourself settle. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, squeeze your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms overhead, stretch up, and bring your hands into prayer position at the center of your chest and pause here. Feel what you feel and set an intention for the rest of your day. 3 times we'll chant Om together. Deep breath in. Om. 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 Bring your thumb knuckles to the center of your forehead. Inhale. And exhale through your mouth. And we'll bow to one another. Those of you at home and from you to us here, namaste. Thank you all for being willing to play. Amazing handstands and wheel poses and breath and feet. Kaiwin, Judy, Adam, and Erica, thank you for joining us. I hope to see you guys all the next time. I'll be here on Saturday, so at 7 a.m., 10 a.m., you can go put yourself right in for class now and see you then. Thank you. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here. Thank you for coming to the front and hanging out with me at the front. Oh, bright light.